Hi, this is Alex from Alex's ESL World, and this is my last pronunciation lesson. I always save the fun things for last, so this lesson is all about tongue twisters. Tongue twisters exist in all languages. They're a fun way to practice the sounds of a language. The key to mastering a tongue twister is to start with a slow, very careful pronunciation and repeat one line at a time over and over until you can say it perfectly and quickly. Some are only one line, so that's easier than the long ones. Also, some will be easier than others. Some people have trouble saying them in their own languages. I guess they just don't practice them enough. I'm providing a handout for you to print out so you can follow along so you don't have to memorize the whole thing while you watch this video. You might have some questions about some of these words, what they mean. For example, my favorite tongue twister is a very old one. It's Peter Piper. Peter Piper is just a name, although Piper is a person who plays the bagpipes. Yeah, I looked it up. Here's the first line. I'll do it slowly. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck is an amount. When I was a child, my mother used to buy a peck of fresh peaches or beans. There was a container made of some kind of reeds, I think, that held a peck of something. So a peck is a quantity, but not a weight. I wish I had one of those baskets to show you, but I haven't seen one of those in a really long time. I looked this up too, and it's about 1/3 of a cubic foot, if that helps, or almost 9 liters. Pickled peppers are just peppers or chilies that have been pickled. It's nonsense and just for fun, so don't worry too much about what the words mean. So here's the riddle of Peter Piper. You can follow along with the visual. We'll take one line at a time and then we'll try the whole thing. Let's go. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. I know it's impossible to pick pickled peppers, just go with it. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Are you ready to try the whole thing together? I'll take it slow the first time. Here goes. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Got it? Let's try it a little faster. You'll need to practice a lot to get really fast. See if you can follow me. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? After you practice a few times, maybe you can go even faster. Let's try. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? And that's as fast as I want to go. Let's try an easier one. She sells seashells down by the seashore. See, some of them are easy. If you have trouble with making the sound of the letter R, you'll want to practice this next one. Around the rugged rocks the ragged rascal ran. Next, this one really doesn't make any sense. This is just for practicing sound. If you have some trouble with the TH sound, this one will be a good one for you. She was a thistle sifter and sifted thistles through a thistle sieve. A thistle is a kind of flower, like you see here, and a sieve is a kitchen tool, like you see here. There's really no way to sieve a thistle, but the sounds you make here will be helpful. Do you have a hard time with W's and V's? This one's for you. Be wary when various wares are everywhere. Be wary means be careful. Various wares? It means different kinds of things. You can have kitchen wares, silverware, underwear. Just kidding. The last one I'll do is going to be a long one, but I think it's kind of an easy one. Most people don't have trouble making a B sound, and that's the one we'll use for the last tongue twister. It's called Betty Botter. We'll start out with each separate line. Betty Botter bought some butter. But, she said, this butter's bitter. If I bake this bitter butter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter, that would make my batter better. So she bought a bit of butter, better than her bitter butter, and she baked it in her batter, and the batter was not bitter. So 'twas Betty Botter. 'Twas means it was. It's poetic. Bought a bit of better butter. I'll try the whole thing one more time. Betty Botter. Betty Botter bought some butter, but she said, this butter's bitter. If I bake this bitter butter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter, that would make my batter better. So she bought a bit of butter, better than her bitter butter, and she baked it in her batter, and the batter was not bitter. So 'twas better Betty Botter bought a bit of better butter. Phew. And with that, I will close my pronunciation course. I've had fun making these lessons, and I hope they've helped you to improve your pronunciation. I'm going to start making grammar videos next, beginning with everything I think you need to know about verbs, and maybe a little more. My first grammar lesson will be about simple verb tenses, present, past, and future. After that, I'll cover the other tenses, along with modals, conditionals, regular and irregular verbs, causatives, and anything else I can think of that you need to know. If you have a request for something you need, let me know and I'll be sure to include it. Bye for now, and I'll see you in the grammar section of my website or the grammar playlist on YouTube. See you soon, and remember to be kind to each other. Bye now.